morning. It is Tuesday morning. It is June the 3rd. Rise and shine. This is Coffee Talk. I'm Wesh 2 First Warning Meteorologist Eric Burst. Boy, do we have some stuff to talk about. First off, some rain showing up on our First Warning Live Doppler radar. We will check in on that. Plus, our first area of interest during hurricane season, tropical satellite showing a bubble up of moisture. We're going to discuss how it all plays out coming up this morning. But first, before we do any of that, let's just get you ready and see what's doing on this morning. Satellite showed the clouds. Certainly, we could see it here on our Tower Cam network. That's a live look outside. There's Ocala. Not a bad morning, right? There's definitely some clouds. Orlando International Airport. Let's check in, see what's doing over by you. A little gray, a little hazy. Have that Canadian wildfire smoke over us. So there's kind of, oh, okay, no input signal, excuse me. Let's check over Disney Springs area. Oh, yeah, kind of gray. Vehicle Assembly Building, Kennedy Space Center. Checking in. Ooh, scary. Scary, right? Port Canaveral. It's not too bad. New Smyrna Beach, check in, and then we'll go over to downtown Orlando and we'll wrap up our tour. People still doing the beach. I like that vibe. Yeah. All right, one more. Head over to downtown area. You've got Exploria, or excuse me, what is it now? I forget what it's called now. Whatever that one is on the bottom left, and of course Camping World there on the kind of foreground. All right, first warning live Doppler radar showing these showers. Let's move into the metro, and there's nothing strong, right? Important to note that. Let me loop it. You see some of these light showers here or there kind of sneaking over to Sumter County. The Village is getting a little bit of rainfall, nothing too strong. Let's move back over here toward the east. Got those rains kind of trying to work across the beach line area. It's a nice morning. We're definitely throwing moisture in more and more and more, right? Temperatures in the 70s. Forecast for today, mostly cloudy skies, but into the afternoon, widespread showers and thunder showers. A 50% coverage of seeing that rainfall. All right, high temperatures today hanging out in the 80s. And, frankly, we've got a pretty good opportunity for some big rainfall, okay? Not necessarily looking at a big threat for flooding today. South Florida is looking at that threat. But tomorrow, all of that moisture moves in. So we're going to be watching the potential starting tomorrow for some flooding threat. Okay? Sound good? All right. Wet pickleball courts this morning, Sandra says. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that makes sense. We've had a few showers. Nothing too strong, but we've had a few showers. Karen, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. So let's talk about the rainfall, shall we? Let's start with Futurecasts. All right, here we are. This is the rapid run of Futurecast, right? So clouds around, building a few showers around lunchtime. It's trying to... Interesting. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to buy the rapid refresh. So let's go to the extended Futurecast. That looks a little more realistic. All right. Sometimes you get on those rapid models, sometimes you just get a bad run. So lunchtime, notice we're starting to see those showers, right? 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock. There are those showers around. 12:30, 1 o'clock, starting to see the heavier rains around, right? Starting to see more of a widespread event. 2, 3 o'clock, widespread rains, right? 4, 5 o'clock, we've got those rains continuing. And then notice 7, 8 o'clock, look at that swath lifting on through, right? So it's not going to just be like a one and done kind of thing. We are looking at the opportunity for rains kind of on again and off again through the day. All right? So that's kind of where we're at. Okay? That's for today. Now, rain chances go up for tomorrow. 7 a.m. tomorrow, Futurecast showing mostly cloudy skies, a few showers in our southern areas. 9:30, 10 o'clock, we're starting to see more rains around. 11, 12 o'clock, widespread rain, right? Another batch coming in. 4, 5 o'clock Wednesday. Look at that. 11 o'clock on Wednesday. More rains into early Thursday, late morning Thursday, and then look at Thursday afternoon, right? Watching that West Coast sea breeze work in 3 o'clock Thursday. Nasty storms marching through 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then that's as far out as Futurecast goes. So, with that said, then, look at the 7-day forecast and look at the opportunities for rainfall, okay? Definitely building up that coverage for our Wednesday and Thursday. So, lots of clouds, Wednesday, Thursday, and then into Friday, Saturday, those rain chances start to drop off just a little bit. Um, but it does look like, for all intents and purposes, we have fired up that rainy season pattern, all of that fun stuff. Okay? So that's kind of where we're at. Dawn, good morning to you. How's the rain in Naples heading there today? We've got plenty of moisture. There's more moisture bubbling up down there, right? Yeah, so I mean, you see all of that stuff. It's getting its act together. It's moving this direction. So there you go. Let me text Alicia real fast. Now, Matt says, little counterclockwise spin. Yeah, so you can see there's a lot of moisture over top of us, right? Little trough to the south. So let's just have a little bit of a conversation. Old fronts do a pretty good job of trying to bubble up tropical things. So this is the broader shot on our tropical satellite, right? And the National Hurricane Center has identified moisture around our area. Now, it is not tropical in nature. It did not develop through the tropical cyclogenesis. One easy way to tell, notice it has it's associated with an old front. So, when you talk about kind of the dynamics of things, we could talk about baroclinic, but we're not going to get into that. But essentially, it's a non-tropical area of low pressure that's going to be trying to form over the Bahamas and lift to the north. Should stay off of the east coast of Florida. It's going to throw a bunch of moisture our direction, and it'll give us a 10% chance of development, because while it's not tropical now, there is the potential that some of the characteristics of a tropical system could try bubbling, okay? So, something that we're watching. It's another good reminder that hurricane season is here. Now, if you're new to Coffee Talk, we dive deep in the models. We do all the analysis together, okay? I haven't seen crazy hype with this, which is good. Sometimes it's just nuts. But I digress. Cindy, what's your main concern when it comes to tracking tropics this season? I know lots of changes have taken place. Curious how you will be pivoting to compensate. Also, how does one apply to work for the National Hurricane Center? I hear that they're hiring again. I mean, I'm sure that they've got USA jobs or whatever the case may be. Um, as far as how I'm working to compensate, listen, the National Hurricane Center folks are our greatest partners. They are unbelievable with their job, and I don't know what their staffing picture looks like. The folks that I deal with and have dealt with for years are there. When I needed to talk to someone for our hurricane special, it was not a problem at all to reach to them. So, to that point, you know, hold on a second. Get over after coffee talk. All right, cool. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I those folks are I don't know the inner workings. They are doing everything that they can to keep us all safe. And if you've watched Coffee Talk a while, this is not a place to talk politics. So we're just not going to do that. But they're doing great work. And my partners down at the National Hurricane Center, I consider them friends and allies, etc. So that's kind of where we're at. All right. So that's kind of where we're at. Oh, I see you're asking about if this is the slow Gulf flow. It's possible. Yeah, yeah, it's possible. Have to watch. We'll have to watch the charts and see how it all ends up going. Right. Okay. So 10% chance of something here trying to do its thing. Let's look and see what the models are showing beyond. Sound good? All right. Ba, 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 ba. All right. Da, 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 da. So first off, you can see. I mean, the GFS is showing a little piece of low pressure out in the Gulf, so that kind of works. Whether it develops or not is a different story, but I digress. There's that right there off the coast of the Outer Banks. That's what the Hurricane Center's talking about for some possible development right there. You see that? Okay. Then we watch. Then we watch. A little something getting going in the Pacific. All right, right there, June 14th, GFS doing the GFS's thing, running a little extra vorticity. Into June 18th. Does that happen? The GFS loves throwing these little fake canes. That's one model run back. Two model runs back, it has nothing. Oh, it's because it went quicker. Three model runs back, quicker. And then it started delaying it. Okay, so that's that. GFS ensembles, because now we're in the season, so might as well. Multi-member, member-wise. All right. All right, we've got some ensemble support, not much, but there's some ensemble support for something trying to form, but it's at the end, so let's go back a run. Yep. Two runs. But the GFS has that vorticity bias. And for those of you that are new to Coffee Talk, essentially the GFS wants to develop lows. And so that's kind of what we're seeing here is it has a bias, BIAS, right? People were asking about it yesterday. I'm like, no, it's not a meteorological term. It's like a model issue. The GFS is always on the Gravitron carnival ride where the seats are lifting and yeah. Yeah. Cindy says, when I ask these questions, please know I'm not trying to get political. Everything is politicized these days, even the weather. Shame. Agreed. I know you're not. I just feel like I also have to say that just to say that. Yeah, I know you're not. I know you're not. Promise I know you're not. All right, so that's the GFS. Let's switch over to the European operational model. All right. Now, the European operational model is still showing a broadish area of low pressure out in the Gulf, whether or not it's developing in anything. So the slow Gulf flow, and then it develops that off the coast of the Outer Banks there. There it goes. That's as far as the 6Z run, which is the most recent run of the GFS goes. So let's go back one more. If I said GFS, I meant European. Notice the European does not show an area of low pressure developing through the 17th. So if you're looking at the GFS, I'm going to go to the GFS real fast just to freak you out. If you're looking at the GFS seeing this big old hurricane with a pressure of, what is that, 964? Yeah, if you're looking at the GFS and you're saying, oh my God, it's going with a hurricane, understand that the European is not through that time frame showing anything. at least in the Atlantic Basin. You see bottom left corner, it's showing something in the Pacific Basin. Now, let's do this. Let's switch over to the European ensembles, and let's just check and see if there's any ensemble support for development. Two, one, two, something like that. I don't see it. Okay. Brooks asking which models are most reliable. It's kind of like dating. They all have their strengths. They all have their weaknesses. There's no perfect. So what instead we do is we take a step back and we try to look at the forest through the trees. Okay? Right? So just understand nothing on the Euro, something on the GFS. We know the GFS has a bias, so don't buy into it too much, okay? Let's look at the Euro AI. Oh, you schmuck, I hit the wrong button. All right, let's go to the Euro AI. All right. Euro AI does not have anything. Let's go back one run. Nope. Two runs. Maybe pressure's lowering, but nothing there. No. All right, let's look at the Canadian model. Yeah. So, what am I seeing? The GFS doing GFS things. What am I not seeing? Consistency among computer models showing development. Okay? Does that make sense? Stacia says GFS was the least accurate and Euro AI was the most accurate last year by huge margins. I don't have the empirical data to back that up. If that's your perspective, Stacia, I apologize. I don't have like the data, right? Maybe. Either way, something to watch. Is it going to bother us? No, it's not going to be like an overtly big problem, this thing bubbling up off our East Coast. What it is going to do, though, again, and I mentioned this, right? Like it's going to bring up the flooding potential. So for today, South Florida. So this is the flooding threat for us. You can see our southernmost areas. But notice into South Florida, that's where the threat increases, right? Look down West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, okay? Naples, Fort Myers, Sarasota, the sun coast of Florida. Flooding is possible, right? Whereas tomorrow, notice, you know, it's just a big old honking swath of rain, right? Jamie's asking, is the Euro AI a new model? It's been around for a minute. We used it last year. Yeah. Keith asks, has Wesh ever thought about giving Coffee Talk airtime? Looking at the news, forever there will be shooting, killing, and reported negative issues. But don't all citizens deserve the in-depth report you give? Not only give weather report, but you give an in-depth report. Report the common person we could all understand. Seriously, the weather report, the most valuable. Thank you, first off, Keith, for saying that. I have no idea. I did see, though, WFTS. I did see that Dennis Phillips Live is broadcasting on TV, or I saw him post something about that. I don't know if any of you all know Dennis Phillips. He's the chief meteorologist at WFTS over in Tampa. He does something like this. It's different. They all are. But I did see that WFTS did switch over and do Dennis Phillips Live on TV. So Yeah. I don't know that Wesh has ever considered it. Betty says Dennis goes live on TV July 1st, I think. The problem with going and doing this on TV, like I do this 7 days a week. But what if I one day can't? Then if it's on TV, somebody has to fill it in, right? Something to that effect. So I think that's the struggle, if I'm honest, with putting something like this on TV. Don't put Coffee Talk on TV. We would have to be stifled. See, there would be those it would also be like, and here's your 7-day forecast. All right, we'll be right back, and we're going to be talking about bloodity, 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 blah. Stay with us. All right, we're back. Welcome back to Coffee Talk. It would be like that. I don't know that that's something. Hey, at the end of the day, they pay my paycheck, so I'll do what they tell me to do. But if you go to TV, you can't be yourself. You have to watch what you say. I have to watch what I say here. Maybe a little less, but I have to watch what I say here. You know? So, anyway, there's that. Taylor says, don't scare us like that and disappear. It's like a jack in the box. Oh, you didn't like when I did this? Oh, man. Oh, Tad. Would have been hilarious if you ran the hurricane forecast ad there. See, the problem is I don't have it dialed up. You know? OP Live does something like that with folks chiming in live. You mean Dennis Phillips Live, Oliver? Is that what you meant? I don't like the new format. Give me Coffee Talk Chaos. See, I like the chaos of this too. Yeah. I think last year he did it one day a week except when there was a storm. Got it. Yeah. I just jumped back in here. There you go. I like it being our little side thing. Yeah, right, Tiffany, we just kind of do our thing. No TV. It's more I'm not suggesting the TV. We're just doing our thing here. Yeah. We're just doing our thing here. The commercial I want to see on Coffee Talk is when you do live at the studio. There you go. We couldn't interact with you as much, I think. We're doing our thing here. We're good. We're good. I'm not. Somebody asked the question. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. There's 0.0 plans to do this on TV. Just so that you know. Just so that you know. The live world is not ready for us. There's no plans for it. Promise. Promise, promise. Okay? Okay. So, that said, questions, comments, concerns. Thank you very much, Jamie. I appreciate it. Joel says, I've learned more about the weather and meteorology on Coffee Talk. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. How about Coffee Talk runs, a 30-minute spot at the beginning, then the junk? I don't even know what you mean. T-shirts and mugs. What if Eric sat on top of an old console TV and did Coffee Talk? Then it would be Coffee Talk on TV. I see what you did there. I like what we're doing here. I'm enjoying what we're doing here. We're going to just keep doing what we're doing here. Yeah. I mean, a Coffee Talk YouTube channel could be a possibility. Look, we're doing it. Kellyanne did not update the coastal 7-day forecast, so sorry, Sonia. All right. I'm hoping, Cindy, I'm hoping 11. I'm hoping 11. Yeah. All right, Mickey's asking for the her today. Yep. Yeah, we looked at Futurecast, didn't do the her. Barb says, how was your visit with Dad yesterday, laying my father-in-law to rest today? I'm sorry to hear that, Barb. Dad, I think, had a good time. Getting in the Mooney was a little more difficult for Dad than getting in a Cessna because you got to climb up over the wing. But I think he had a good time. We took a beautiful picture of the ocean. Ran him from the Sanford Airport, went up the coastline, past Daytona Beach, up to like Ormond Beach, and then turned back around and came down. So it was nice. All right, her. All right, let's start with the rapid update. Her, stand by. All right. So here's the rapid update her. This one runs every hour. And first off, it's showing the showers. Let me pop before we go any further. You know, the her rapid update did initialize these showers, not exactly in the right spots, etc., but they did. Jamie says, "Why do people want to make things more complex? No TV." Yeah, we're not. I'm not suggesting that at all. Yeah, we're doing our thing. We've all learned a lot and got better appreciation of the hard work put in, keep many people safe. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that, buddy. William says I'm getting gray hair. Okay. The whole club was looking at her. All right, so some showers this morning. By lunchtime, rapid refresh her showing pockets of more intense rains here or there. And then, just keeping some showers around. So that's the rapid refresh her. I I don't know, the rapid her I personally have grown to like the extended her a little bit better. I don't know why. So this is the her extended. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So it's got some of those showers. 11, 12 o'clock. Interesting. 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 What? Interesting. I say that, but do I think that this rain's going to come in that late? I don't think that's going to be the case. So, you know, anytime you've got this situation where there's an area of low pressure that's like developing over you, it's difficult for the models to initialize, just honestly. There's an area of low pressure that's trying to develop, non-tropical in nature, at least at the beginning. Models are going to struggle with that, you know? Shannon says, I should have been a weather girl or a DJ. I should have been a millionaire. But here we are. Oh, well. Based on equal time rules, do we need a model? That's funny, Tim. That's funny. Yeah. Amy's asking, when do we get the standard afternoon showers every day? Well, so this area of low pressure is kind of putting us back into the rainy season. So, to that point, now ish. Yeah. Shannon says sharing is caring. Yep. All right, people. That's all I've got. I need to go take the airplane and get an oil change. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you guys, and you could have been a contender. I'll see you guys and gals and everybody in between for Coffee Talk tomorrow morning. And 11 o'clock today. It's probably only going to be like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but it'll be a quick one. But we're going to do a track in the tropics, okay? So flippin' bad. I'll see you guys at 11 o'clock. Sound good? All right. Bye.